Hi, everyone. Welcome to the CoStar News Hotels podcast. I'm news editor Sean McCracken, here with Hilton's DeShaun Wise Porter, who is Vice President of Strategic Pathways and Recognition. DeShaun, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. It is a pleasure to be here. How are you?
I'm good, and I appreciate, hopefully it's not too confusing for our listeners to have a conversation between a Sean and a DeShaun, but I think our voices are different enough that it won't be too hard.
Slightly, but it's great to be here with you, Sean, for sure.
So the reason we're chatting today is to talk about Hilton's effort to kind of broaden the scope of hotel ownership and investment. You guys have a program for that that's been going on for most of a couple of years now. Kind of explain what that is and what you guys have accomplished so far.
Absolutely. So in 2024, we launched Unlocking Doors, a pathway to ownership. And essentially, it was really born out of the idea that there are so many entrepreneurs out there that have an aspiration to dip into hotel ownership, or individuals that are not even aware of the franchising opportunities that exist. And so we wanted to elevate them. We set out to create a program that included core components of foundational information, but also we delved into where are there some key challenges? What are the challenges that owners face? And so as we were creating our program, we really anchored in on both of those two areas and then made sure that we came up with a program that would support that.
So what are the key challenges?
Oh, so overall, the first one is definitely education. And so
Hmm.
we created a session that we run essentially at minimum 2 times a year that introduces aspiring owners as well as some of our new owners to all things ownership, which is really important. The second piece is networking. We've realized in talking to our owners that they say, listen, I get into this and sometimes I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's helpful to really make sure that they have a cadre of industry leaders, other owners, mentors, if you will, to help them as they are facing new challenges or new opportunities as they're delving into this space. But then the third component, and which is really core, is our owners consistently say that as they are delving in, that they face challenges in gaining access to capital. And
Hmm.
so that is where we wanted to make sure when we launched this program that we had a solution for that. And so we were able to provide that to our owners through our partnership with Bridge.
Yeah, and obviously, I've spoken to the Hilton folks and the Bridge folks in the past about that program. It seems like a lot more straightforward way of accessing capital markets. Kind of the um, digital marketplace of it is a lot more straightforward than the typical banking system that people who are more established in this industry might be accessing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's really difficult. This is a difficult lending environment in general, but when you have the Hilton brand behind you, you're working with the development team, and then you are able to have an easier access to affordable capital, that can really make all of the difference in terms of your entry into this particular opportunity.
I'm curious if the major obstacles you guys identified early on were kind of education and networking. Have you guys gotten to the point? I mean, if to my recollection, you launched this early in 24, right? Have you
Yes,
gotten
we
to the
did.
point where early participants are now kind of a resource to the program?
100%. I don't think that we would have been able to be as successful as we were straight out the gate without literally leveraging our existing owners. They have
Hmm.
been phenomenal. They helped us in shaping this program. They gave us the feedback that was really necessary to understand what are the core components an aspiring owner needs to hear sitting in an educational session, right?
Hmm.
Who essentially needs to be in the room to make sure they have access to build their network. We're not doing the pairing for them. We are providing them the forum in which to meet those individuals, and then they can cultivate those relationships as necessary. And then of course it's it's the access to capital. And so as they shared that with us, they helped us build it all the way through, and they continue to be there with us every step of the way. So I definitely want to take the opportunity to say thank you to each of them, because they've leaned in and made all the difference.
So, I mean, obviously, the benefit of kind of expanding the owner base to Hilton specifically is apparent. Like, I mean, it's good for your business to have a wider pool of owners. I'm curious what you think kind of the broader industry benefit of this type of work is, beyond just like here's more people to sell brands to.
Yeah, so what we have learned as we kind of take a look at the data, there are some franchisees that start with us, and then there's others that start elsewhere, and then
Hmm.
they come to Hilton as they're continuing to grow their portfolio. So we see this as an opportunity to educate on hotel ownership in general. Obviously, a double click on our amazing brand for sure, but this is essentially knowledge. The foundational knowledge is interchangeable across all of these different brands. We just think that we have a a brand and all of our brands that truly stand out. And then we also have several wraparound services that we provide to our owners that make them want to continue to do business with us. I believe it was 39% of owners just in this year have gone from opening one Hilton hotel with us to opening two. And so,
Hmm.
as you can see, they're choosing to come back and have us as their flag.
Hmm. I'm in terms of flags specifically, I'm curious what kind of are the entry point brands? Because obviously, a new ownership, somebody who's not super familiar with the industry, they're not coming out of the gate with a Signia or a flagship Hilton, most likely. But where are we seeing like the entry points?
Listen, I will never take it off the table because we've got some phenomenal entrepreneurs out
That would
there.
be a significant
However,
challenge.
However, that is not the common route. Where we tend to see a lot of our initial owners lean in is around the Hamptons, sometimes the Hilton Garden Inns. Home to suites is really a hot item. Individuals are
Hmm.
wanting a place where they can go have more space, and so with that, you're seeing owners also want to kind of lean into the suite space. We also, I would be amiss if I didn't actually highlight our Spark brand.
Hmm.
Our Spark brand is kind of considered our conversion space, if you will.
Hmm.
It is not ground up construction, which could be a lot harder to do. So if you
Yeah,
take
especially these days.
Absolutely. So if you're taking an existing hotel and you're converting it and you're placing a Spark flag on there, it's less time for you to definitely rev up and making that income. So it's a great starting place for sure.
So if that's what new owners are doing, I'm curious who they are. Like, do you guys have a kind of general profile of the type of, kind of new investors, entrepreneurs that you're getting in, or is it kind of broad based?
It can be broad. I think what we have seen, to be a faster ramp up, right? You have some people that will explore this industry for a period of time before really kind of jumping into it. And then you
Hmm.
have others, those that own commercial property or have a very expansive real estate portfolio. You tend to see them move very at a much faster pace, particularly after they attend the key, because then they're
Hmm.
learning the core components and then understanding. They can draw the parallels as well as the differences to what they're experiencing in that commercial real estate space and then what they might experience in hospitality.
Is there much commonality in kind of what they've invested in before? Like, are you seeing people flow through from like, you know, still self-storage investments or, quick serve food restaurants or like, other franchise businesses that might be kind of similar and they'd see this and say, well, that's attractive.
Absolutely, but more kind of on the residential housing side seems to
Okay.
be what we've seen more recently. But I wouldn't be able to speak more broadly than that, just because my time, I'm getting the beauty of supporting this program, managing the partnership with Bridge, as well as our programmatic elements, our education piece, and then our
Hmm.
development side is really the amazing team that makes all of this happen. So they might have more information.
I just wonder if it is like kind of the residential side, is that supporting kind of an interest in, the home twos, the brands that kind of segue more into that space a little bit then?
Very strongly, very strongly. And when I think about some of our deals that we've closed through unlocking doors and the bridge partnership here within the past year or so, there's a few of them that actually had other flags. Right, they had
Hmm.
started their portfolio with other brands, and then have just really aspired to own a Hilton. And there's just so much strength in our home two suites.
So what kind of feedback have you guys gotten so far on this? Like what kind of lessons have you learned over the, year and a half, year and three quarters or whatever it's been?
I think that's an excellent question. The feedback has literally been jaw dropping for me in such a positive way. Uh, the existing owners, our new aspiring owners, are so thankful to have this platform, right? Have an
Hmm.
opportunity to essentially come and learn, to ask questions, to engage with our leadership, to learn why the hospitality at Hilton and the brand in itself is so incredibly strong, and then having the support construct to be able to see them through the opening of their own hotel.
Hmm. I do want to focus at least for a minute. I mean, especially when the program was launched, um, part of the promise of it was more inclusive, more diverse ownership pool. Is it still kind of the goal with this?
Yeah, so Unlocking Doors is a program and has always been a program that is for all. It is for
Hmm.
all aspiring Hilton hotel owners, and
Yeah.
we haven't limited to any specific group. We really
Yeah.
see the value in making sure that we can show up and provide this opportunity, because that's just going to open the doors for so many others.
For sure. So, has anything kind of caught you off guard with this? Like anything you didn't foresee at the beginning? Like any like one thing going this way when you expected it to go that way, sort of thing? I'm sure the answer is yes, but we'll see how candid you'll be about it.
I mean, listen, like I said, we launched this in January of 2024, and as you can imagine, the lending environment has
Oh
presented
yeah,
its
good
own
timing, right?
challenges. Absolutely, right? I would say we would have potentially have seen another one, but to that end, I don't know that I would change it, because even though we've experienced the challenges of the greater lending environment, we have still been able to close deals. We
Yeah.
have been able to save deals that was literally almost going to be at the breaking point, because they could
Hmm.
not identify the capital in which to make it happen. And so for that, I can't say we would have done anything differently, but of course, challenges for sure that are outside of our control. And but
Hmm.
that's why a strong brand essentially means so much, because it can withstand these challenging times.
I mean, the lending environment, you could obviously look at it as a negative because everybody would like access to capital and investment to be easier. But at the same time, the necessity of kind of connecting the dots for people and helping them navigate that environment is probably way more heightened right now than it would have been if everything was perfect and easy, right?
Very, very true. Very true. And the other thing I can share is some of our owners have shared with us that the networking and mentorship, organic mentorship component has been key during this
Hmm.
time, because it's afforded individuals to lean in further and be able to gain the knowledge to navigate around this and still achieve the same success, right?
Hmm. For sure. So, I mean, speaking of successes, when you think back at the last, couple of years, what do Do you have any kind of specific success stories or anybody who jumps out in your head or like, oh, I'm really glad we got to work with them?
We do. So we have 3S Hospitality, which they had a story that they just had a project that was stalled for
Hmm.
quite some time. I don't know if you had the chance to speak to them
I did
already, but
speak with
we
them. Yeah.
excellent, excellent. So they come to my mind, and there's quite a few others, but that was a key one because again, that project was at, it was just completely stalled out, and so they were able to come to us, have continued conversations with our development team, and
Hmm.
then be recommended to the Bridge program, and was able to go ahead and close out. And so now they've got over 100 keys for their hotel, and it's a huge success story. Another one is for a supplier. So one thing is that right now we're talking about owners specifically, like hotel owners, but part of the Bridge program also allows lending for entrepreneurs as well.
Hmm.
Basically within the hospitality track, of course, but we also have another entrepreneur, and they were actually able to secure capital in which to continue and expand their business. And so
Hmm.
we really see this as a way to unlock doors and potential for all types.
Hmm. Well, that makes the name appropriate, right?
Absolutely.
I will point out, especially given my earlier comment about our names, the three S's in 3S are what Sean, and Shane, right?
In
Which is
Shane,
fun.
yes. So we just flow with it. I just had to
Yeah.
add the DE to it. So now we've
Yeah.
got me in the mix.
Yeah. Instead of three, it should be D.
Absolutely.
So, anything we haven't talked about that you think is worth people would want to know? I mean, obviously, you guys are doing good work here. It feels like you feel like it's been pretty successful, but anything you think that people don't recognize about what you guys are doing?
Y- You know what I'd say is Hilton, it has over 8,800 hotels globally so far. And
Hmm.
we've been around for over 100 years, 10 of them for which I've actually had the opportunity to be here. And there's so much strength in the brand, but when you pair the brand with the wealth of knowledge that our development team has, backed by the strength of our owners and how supportive they are of bringing new owners into the fold and helping them
Hmm.
along the way, it just really creates a whole different opportunity. And so I would share, it is my fervent hope that if you're an entrepreneur, you have a portfolio, you're looking to diversify even further your current investments, think about hotel ownership.
Hmm.
Explore it. There's individuals that are ready to talk to you. There is so much to learn, but then, travel brings people together in some of the most amazing ways. And so this could just be another tool in your toolkit, another asset in your portfolio. And so I would definitely encourage people to, if they haven't, attend the Key, an introduction to hotel ownership. We have it at, again, minimum twice per year. And so it would be a really, really good opportunity for people to just learn.
You mentioned that you've been at Hilton for a decade. I've been doing this for a decade now too, and I will say one of the most pleasant surprises about working with hoteliers so much is how kind and welcoming and warm it is as a kind of an industry. So yeah, people who are kind of thinking about it have their one foot in the door. Like it's a nice group of human beings to work with in my experience.
Absolutely. In the time of AI, and while we do embrace it, we know, you'll often hear our CEOs say, we're in the business of people serving people. And so we do that for our team members, our guests, our owners, and of course, our communities.
All right, Deshaun. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. I think this has been a really great conversation.
I appreciate you very much, Sean. Namesakes here.
All right.
Hi, I'm Davon Reed.
I'm Omari Head.
And I'm Chris Henry.
We're the hosts of the Next Gen and Lodging podcast. It's a monthly show in which we interview a new generation of hoteliers to get their insights into a variety of disciplines and topics, from finance to food and beverage and hotel operations. Listen to us on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode of the CoStar News Hotels podcast was recorded on October 1st, 2025, and edited by me, Sean McCracken. Make sure to check out all of our podcasts on Apple, Spotify, and now on YouTube, where you can find us by searching CoStar News Hotels. And if you want more up-to-the-date information, visit us at costar.com/hotelnews. Thanks for listening.